Hey, welcome to more random thoughts in random places. Now, my darlings, as promised, we're going to go through the effects that traumas have on you physically. I've read up about this myself and I was astonished to know that I had quite a few things on that list. And I'm going to go through that list with you in a moment because I wrote down some notes. When I went and did more investigation into this, what I found is that there's different kinds, there's betrayal, but in different settings. So you've got spouse betrayal, parental betrayal, friendship betrayal, family betrayal. It's endless. It's absolutely endless. And then there's just betrayal. So the first thing I want to say is, to get all this information, all you have to do is type in the physical effects of trauma, okay? And it will give you everything. All the mental health section will come up and it will give you all of the information just like I've got. But I do understand that sometimes you're living busy, difficult lives and it's hard to source that information. So I shall source it for you, my darlings. If you've ever wondered, I need to make this quite clear. I was in training to become a counsellor, but there are things in that profession. Again, you have to join the company, you have to join their agenda, and I can't really be who I'd like to be. So I quit taking those exams. I no longer do them. I might return, who knows. I speak purely, mostly from experience. After that, I looked up and I found out about the things I was dealing with and what I was going through. I had interest and curiosity to understand why my life here was the way it was. And so I wanted to understand. I don't want to be angry. I want to understand. And it's that took me on this journey. And I've been doing it for over 20 years. I speak from experience. If you're finding it hard to discern, just look in my eyes. Just look in my eyes. And you'll also see the traumas on my face. I don't hide those. I use natural lighting. Age isn't something that worries me. I love the thought of living as long as I can down here. It's a beautiful thing to be able to reach maturity and more. So anything that I'm saying, you can find out and investigate for yourselves. And if you find it hard to discern what my intentions are or whether I speak the truth and I speak facts, look in my eyes and then go and double check what I've said. You will find it. So you may be going through some stuff and thinking that what your illness is completely isolated. And in some cases it will be. And it's important to know what's your isolated illness alongside your traumas. But what I found is post-traumatic stress or complex post-traumatic stress derives from childhood and comes from abuse of some sort. So that is a pure fact. And then you've got the potential for people to grow up to have just that physical trauma coming out of them from since their childhood, and they cannot connect the two together because they are either so traumatized that they can't acknowledge it yet, or they're trying to acknowledge it, but we have the pressures of society. And I'm going to get into that one, the betrayal of society, because a lot of people believe in society and it doesn't have your back, but we'll get into that another time. We're going to go through all of the different situations that you will find the physical traumas coming out. Like I said, spouse, parental, friendships, family, because family is more extended than just your mum and dad. So we're talking about betrayal within uncles, cousins, aunties, you name it. But here's the effects that can come out that you might think aren't to do with your traumas, and they are. So keep a note. So we have your intrusive thoughts, unwanted images in your mind of maybe how you want to get revenge, never a good thing. Hypervigilance. So you're always going to be scanning your area now. You're going to be scanning people. You're going to be watching people a lot more, and you're going to be more intuitive about their actions along with their words. You can get insomnia, fearfulness, social withdrawal, emotional numbness, tension, headaches, fatigue, migraines. Then there's the humiliation and the sense of shame that you take on board and that you inherit when really you shouldn't be, my darlings. Then you have irritability, nightmares, flashbacks, outbursts of anger, and then above all, post-traumatic stress, which all of these things I've just mentioned to you are in post-traumatic stress. So it's a long list. So we're going to go through these things individually. So and there's stages as well. And believe you me, one of the things I just found out as well, you see, when you're brave enough, like you said, you have courage, one of the things it says is to share your trauma. So when you are ready and able and balanced and you can talk about the trauma without being emotionally affected, like me now, if I was screaming and if I couldn't explain it to you properly, it means I'm still not over that yet. The idea, you'll always know how well you're doing, is when you can speak about it and it no longer takes full control over you, where you become so emotional that you can't speak the rest of it. So the idea is to be able to speak about it calmly, in a balanced manner, where you are always learning from it, not just going round in circles in this mess that doesn't seem to lead to any knowledge or wisdom to help you manage it, because traumas are more likely here to stay. To get rid of it is to ignore the impact of the very incident that happened. That's you're ignoring it. You cannot. It is a life-changing event, you know. And if there are things about yourself that you don't want this event to change about you, that's where the fight comes in. You have to fight. You have to fight. It's so easy to become that which was our abuser, that which was our enemy, that which was our demon that was hanging on us. You have to fight. You have to confront. That's one of the first things you learn, is you have to accept. And the reason why I say that is learning to accept is because when people believe that being cured, or not cured, that's actually not being cured, but just being helped along with your traumas, is that at some point that person is going to say, oh, I'm sorry, can you forgive me? But learn to know that people did what they did because they didn't give a toss in the first place, so they're not going to be sorry. Do not look for that in recovery. Look to accept, look to understand. The more you accept, honestly, it suddenly goes into a whole journal of you've now turned detective, and the understanding of the psychology of these people's behavior. You realize it was always them. It was never you. They're the coward that has to seek vulnerable people out, or kind people. You know, what they see as weaknesses are strengths. And so the idea of getting in your head that, oh yeah, these people are going to apologize and that's what's going to make me feel better. It's not. It's acknowledgement and understanding why they do what they do and why they did what they did to you. And that way is knowledge, is wisdom. And with that knowledge, you will set yourself freer and freer from each pinnacle moment that you remember in your trauma. They will start to just be there, but you won't feel the impact of it anymore. You know it's there, you've acknowledged it. It's when you don't acknowledge it, is when it will keep bang, 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 bang. It will keep banging at your window until you give it its due date, which you must. And then you are on your way to recovery. And by recovery, I mean managing the traumas, because we know they're most likely not going to go away. And that would be, like I said, ignoring the impact of certain behaviors. And we need to understand the impact of certain behaviors so we don't keep doing them. People think it's easier. It's not. Don't ever choose the easy road. The easy road is just quicker, but you haven't done the journey, so you don't know your destination. You have no idea where you're going, and you are not in control of any of it, my darlings. So the main thing is go back through the video and listen to the list of the effects that trauma can do, because I can guarantee you a lot of you are not sleeping right, and you've got your sleeping tablets from your doctors, and you've got your tablets for stress, and we just keep going on and going on and going on, never really getting any answers. So we're going to go through it together, my loves, but know that the impact of these traumas, even if they happened decades ago, they still float around, you know, they're still there, and triggers can always remind you of how well you're doing as well, because we will always get triggers. They will always come to test us because we're out in the open. You can't hide away forever. You can be mindful of who you spend your time with, definitely, because energy. But, you know, there is no escape. And by that, I mean, if you're going to tell me, oh, but I can lock myself away in my house. No, there's still no escape, because you cannot escape yourself. And you shouldn't want to, my darlings. You shouldn't want to. So my next video will be the different situations that we can find betrayal in. We're going to like narrow it down and bring out unique situations, especially when it comes to, say, like spouse and partner betrayal, because if you've just put a lot of effort into someone, you've sacrificed a lot, you've even maybe argued with family and friends because you're backing this person up, and then they let you down, that their personality and their character was a complete and utter lie, you're going to start to think, oh God, what does that say about me? Am I really that much of a bad judge of character? Am I really this? I feel so humiliated, I feel so stupid. I've even lost friendships or respect from family members because of this love that you had for them. And then it makes you want to question yourself 24/7. How did you not see it? Why did you not see it? And this is why I say you need to acknowledge and do the learning, because you'll soon see that it wasn't you, my sweetheart. It was the coward that picked you, because you have lovely qualities. They're not weaknesses, they're strengths. The weaknesses is the narcissist that comes into your world, knows fully what they're going to do, and gets to work because they need you more than you will ever need them. Okay, more than ever. And discernment is key, because some people, when they're narcissists and sociopaths and psychopaths, they will act accordingly. So they will just covet people, watch how they do it, and then just mimic. They'll mimic it. And if you look carefully, you will notice the difference. You will notice the difference between someone that's genuine and has good intent to someone that's sneaky, deceitful and conniving and has bad intent. Energy, my darlings. Smell it, because it's all over them. They are conceited and they have to hide. It is you they are using. It's your beautiful qualities that they don't have, that they need to pretend. Okay, and also you have to understand that they pick you because you are of good doing. You are a loving person. So therefore, if you hang with them, they'll see you as loving because of that person that you're with, because they can credit that person so well. They wouldn't dream of thinking that the person that they have hanging around with them would be so disgusting. And that's how they do it. They hide. They're sneaky. They watch and then they join in. They covet first. They covet, my darlings. And so just have your discernment, a bit more alert, and just know that when it comes to traumas, understanding, curiosity, just take it at your own pace, my sweethearts, okay? But listen to some of the things that I've said and ask yourself, do I have any of those? And is it related to, say, my asthma? Is it related to stress? Is it related to my traumas? Can I pinpoint it? Because it helps if you can eliminate and say, no, nothing that she's talking about is what's happening with me. So I can't relate to that. So cool, now you've just found out something. So elimination is just as good, okay, as detection. So I'm going to leave it on that note because I've got a lot more to do. And what we'll do is we'll go in depth. And I think we'll start with spousal betrayal, because that leads to very much where we are now. Because if women and men aren't already at loggerheads through stupidity, I don't know. The younger generations make me, I'm just curious, and I'm watching them, I'm observing them, and I'm looking at what they believe to be the way. And it's just a trend. And then there will be the shock and horror on their faces when they realise they've been duped. It's sad. It's sad that women want to become more aggressive in a man way when they've got womanly strength, which are just as beautiful, and a man and his strength, which is beautiful. I can't see the problem here, but obviously there's a bigger agenda, and if we can get to the point where there is no man or woman, then the powers that be can just turn us into what they want to turn us into, which is non-seeing, non-hearing, non-feeling beings. So, like I said, I'm out. I just watch. I don't debate on, let's say, the Palestine-Israeli. I don't debate on it because it's disgusting on both sides. So you have to just come out and know that it's all horrible. Killing here, killing there. The only ultimate ending of that is they're all going to die. And there'll be no more Palestine and no more Israel. I mean, is that what these people really want? So there is no good and bad. It's just all bad. And so all I can say is come out, do what you got to do by the system, but come out of that and then just observe. Just observe. Like I said, I don't argue in someone else's arena. I don't get involved with politicians because I can do better by listening to the crap that they talk rather than try to get into a debate with these people, because they'll win, because they do that world. They operate on that vibration. I do not. So as human beings are becoming more repugnant, I don't want to have to act like that. I don't like being like that. And so I choose to opt out. And that's it for me. So what we'll do is we'll go through each individual one, which I've said, and then after that, we're going to go through the 5 phases that it says to help cope or to get to a better level with trauma. I know, speaking from my personal experiences, I've come a long way from where I was. There's no way I'd be able to do this. There's no way. I was so lost. I was so shut down and left in this little room where I wouldn't come out. And eventually it was thankfully a friend that says, listen, my band member friend, and he just goes, listen, Margot, I know you like alone time and you're solace, but this is a bit. And he was right. I didn't see it. I didn't notice it. And he goes, come and sing with our band. We're just jamming. And I said to him, no, I didn't want to do anything. I was like this, no. Like singing was something I'd never known before, and yet it was everything I loved. I found solace in that. And by the time my husband would finish with me, I had lost my bond with music. And I remember my first song I wrote again after I think 10 years was Love and Light. And one of the sentences in there was, I'm getting reacquainted with my long lost love, which was music. And the confidence I had in that was the only thing I did have confidence in, because everything else in my life was hell. And just people using and abusing me for their own agendas to hide whatever it is they wanted to hide. And also mainly it was to do with the fact that they didn't want to face their own demons. So they put it out on others, which I think is the most cowardly thing to do. And it taught me that the best thing I could do if I didn't want to end up like them, a sorry ass, miserable git at the age of 70, 80, then I maybe needed to do things differently. So I can only thank them for showing me the cruelty that they did, because it didn't get them anywhere. Yeah, it didn't get them anywhere, my darlings. So life is a journey anyway. So let's do it. Let's do it. Let's do it together. Let's do it together. So on that note, I keep saying that and then I keep talking, don't I? But on that note, my darlings, we'll just take it each day as we go. Now, if there's anything you want to mention that I haven't said that you know of, please do make a comment. Do make a comment. And I would say the likes aren't so, like I said, important to me, because I know that I'm doing something that's good and that's positive. I can share experiences with you, and I can help you get the information to help you understand how to navigate yourself through this crazy human society, and I think that's the best all we can do. But I would appreciate it if you shared it. Share this video with people that you know will make dividends from it, that it will help them. It's not for my benefit. Like I said, I've earned my money elsewhere, and I will continue to do so, because here it's just a platform where I can relate to you and you can relate to me from across the world. Do drop a comment where you're from, because that's lovely. And share your culture, share your beliefs, how you do things. There could be something that you've done that could help somebody else, even me. It could even help me. So I'm all ears, my darlings. I'm all ears. So I think we're on Saturday today, aren't we? So I'll see how this video goes, and I'm still going to put them up, especially the five ways to manage trauma. I found some of those interesting already, which is why I'm going to share it, because I know it could do something good for somebody else out there. I may never meet them, know them, but I know it's going to be doing good. So we'll do that, and we'll also talk about the different kinds of betrayal found in isolated situations, because you can even have betrayal at work. You've worked with people 10, 20 years, and the betrayal is they've taken a job or a promotion that they knew you were going for, and they took it from you. There's all sorts of betrayal. Sorry, I'm keeping itching. I think it's this fake hair. So I think we need to definitely break them down. And so maybe tomorrow, when we have the Sunday's heart to heart, okay, I shall do one about the spousal one, because for me this is interesting, because I think it's a lot to do. It's just one of the avenues that doesn't help where men and women are at now, does it? It doesn't help. And I just think betrayal comes from people hiding their feelings, again, emotions, people not addressing them and respecting them. That's what we are, emotional beings. And if you learn your emotions, they are your friend. They help you. Your intuition is the one that's telling you, oh, you don't want to do that. Oh, but you do want to do this. Listen to that. Listen to that. You're born with that. They're your senses. They won't teach you this in schools. So you can evolve those senses. No. They don't want you being in tune with your emotions. God forbid. Well, God isn't forbidding. Okay? So he wants us very much to do that. Now, I am not a religious person, but I am very much a spiritual being. And I believe in the universe. And I've always believed that the universe has a consciousness, sees, hears all. And I think, again, we are given choice, and I think the energy of God sits back, watches and observes us, and it will be by our own hand. So let's not bring the Most High into this, because everything we do is our own choice. And it's such a shame, but I think humans will prevail. I just think we've got to go through this bad stage before we get to the good, sadly. But there you have it, my darlings. I think a lot of betrayal comes from people hiding who they are, scared of their feelings, and just outright stupidity, and just listening to the powers that be down here like it's the gospel, and just being fed a whole heap of rubbish and happy to believe it when they haven't even done their own research. So I don't really talk about the topics that's going on in the world, because it's all crap. And there's not one bit of dialogue that you can use that's actually vibrating high enough for us to get the solutions. So I simply retire from society. And so you don't want to be in the arena, being the ones that are playing around. You don't want to be the spectator. You want to be outside of all of that, almost like 4/5 dimension, where you can see each chapter. We know where this is going to lead. That's why God gave us intuition. He gave us discernment. You already know right from wrong. We already know. And I think a lot of it stems from people just being in denial of what it means to be a human, because we have been programmed and soft-controlled into believing this agenda that's going on here. I just want to help people navigate this crazy environment. And like myself, it's just difficult, isn't it? It's just, everything's just difficult. So I hope this has been of some help. I'm going to go off way now and do some more research and get more notes on spousal betrayal. So get your pen and papers ready to hand, because I'm sure some of you out there have got some real great advice and can in many ways inspire others. So I hope that you've enjoyed this video, and I hope it's given you some sort of peace. And on that note, my darlings, have a wonderful weekend, and as always, Jala.